TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Welcome, guys. You're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly. My name is TK Trinidad, a.k.a. the Canadian Assassin. And Evan is either stuck in New York or he's fighting crime during the day. We don't know which one, but, you know, we'll figure it all out. We're definitely going to do some news, some rapid hot tags, but we have an amazing guest today. She's a fighter, actress, philanthropist, and a WOW WOW Superhero. Whoa. WOW Superhero Keta Rush. Welcome.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Super duper.
Okay, so before we get into all your business, we're like we do every week, we're going to do some news, and shout out to Joseph in the chat. He said he didn't think Evan was going to be back from Mania, and you're absolutely correct. He's flying back, but just couldn't make it for this particular time. So we're going to get into news real quick. It's going to be short and sweet. So, do you get to watch WrestleMania at all?
Not so much. I was working the whole time.
Now, did you see it got a lot of press from
Lots
just like
of press.
a lot of non-wrestling outlets.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Becky Lynch, which I was surprised, she got both belts.
I know.
I thought Ronda Rousey was going to get both of them. I knew somebody was going to get both of them. I just thought it was going to be Ronda.
I'm just glad it wasn't, though.
I'm glad it wasn't, but I wonder if this is like she's preparing to do a movie. Or what the situation. I didn't get to watch Raw this week, but I wonder if she's like taking a little bit of a break and then coming back.
It would be smart.
I really want to see, because there's some other UFC fighters that are in NXT.
Yeah.
I want to see like them come together.
Yeah.
And you never know. There's always injury. So congratulations to Becky Lynch for sure.
Definitely.
She's a sweetheart. She was on Maria Menounos' show, who owns AfterBuzz, Conversations with Maria, and super sweetheart. So, but this whole change, amazing, well deserved.
Yeah, congrats.
And then also a friend of the show, Chelsea Green. Did you get to see her stuff in? Oh my God, where's my mind today? She was like this crazy lady. She had her mouth painted red, and it was like she's supposed to be this crazy. It was pretty good. She needs to be an actress now I think about it. But congratulations to friend of the show, Chelsea Green. She was actually with Zack Ryder. They are engaged. They've been together for a long period of time. So I was ecstatic when I saw it, especially during WrestleMania.
And it makes sense.
I know. It's like, I don't know if he was waiting for her to come to WWE to do it.
Maybe.
Or, it's like,
that's
now we're
cute.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations to them. Now, let's get into all your business. So, how long have you been with WOW?
8 years.
I was going to say wow.
Wow. Right? Wow.
Yeah, because you've known a lot of the girls that we've had on the show. We had Michelle on the show, Frost on the show, and you were with them around the same time. So how did the audition process go?
Man, that was a very interesting audition process, to say the least, because I was sent on it on accident. So I actually thought I was going to audition from my agent for that show, Heroes. And so I walk in, I sign in the little, area, and then they call my name, and I go in the back, and then there's a ring. And then there's these girls slamming each other around, and I was like, oh, hell no, this is not, no. And I called my agent, I stepped out, I was like, these are women wrestlers. And he was like, oh, I guess he looked on the computer, and he's like, I'm so sorry. You can leave. It's the wrong audition. I thought it was for Heroes, the sci-fi show.
Yeah, I remember that show.
No.
But were you fighting at the time, though?
No, I was scared of everything. I still had so much PTSD from getting bullied.
Oh, okay.
So, combat sport, all I did was run track and basketball.
Oh, for some reason I thought that you had already been like...
No.
Okay, this
that was
sense.
my first, oh, no. And, I watched Glow when I was little and wrestling when I was little, but my mind concept of a woman wrestler was China. And I'm 5'3", I weigh 115 pounds. Not happening. No, you will kill me. So I was leaving. I literally had my hand on the doorknob. And David McLean, he goes, are you leaving? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so soon? You didn't even come in. You're all dressed. They wanted in athletic clothes. They wanted to see how good you were as an athlete. So I figured there would be some physical testing, but I didn't know that. So I was like, yeah, no, I don't do that. And wrong audition. He was like, well, it's Friday at 5 p.m. you might as well stay and watch. And I was like, valid point, we are in LA.
The traffic.
So, so I stayed and I watched, and I was like, yeah, no, don't want any part of that. And then Lana Starr got in the ring and picked up someone China's size and flung her across. And I was like, okay, how did she do that?
Yeah.
And then I was interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then did you audition for it that day?
Yeah. So no, I took the waiver. I watched. I was way too scared and intimidated. I took the waiver. I called my dad. I was like, told him the whole story, and he's like, you know what? This might be something very therapeutic for you to help you actually overcome whatever residual PTSD you still might have, physical. And I was like, okay, like true. And so then we were talking about wrestlers who've made it in Hollywood, and then I was like, okay, maybe let's try it. Whatever, it's something new. It's a new opportunity. Yeah. Loved it.
And so now you are a wrestler.
Yes.
So okay, well, let's take it back for people who don't know. Okay. So because you own a gym that has to do with self-defense or teaching self-defense to women and children. Yes. Take us back to how you got to that point, because people who are not necessarily familiar with WOW or haven't seen WOW or haven't seen your story, let's kind of tell them about that.
So once I was a WOW superhero and I was Keta Rush, it started opening doors for me for other types of auditions. So now I was going on like fight auditions. I had never fought in my life, didn't even know how to wrap my hands. Like I would literally fake it. And then I would book them. I would, I'm in a Gatorade commercial, work in the bag, and a Powerade commercial, kicking. But I had no clue what I was doing. And so then now I'm wrestling.
Right.
And I got an audition for jiu-jitsu. Okay. And I booked it, and so then that is how I started with jiu-jitsu.
So wait, you got an audition for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Never did jiu-jitsu.
No. So I booked it, and then they paid for like 5 months of training.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
So then that was that, and then I started Muay Thai. One of my friends at jiu-jitsu introduced me to Muay Thai, and then once I was an empowered woman, 100%. Now I can defend myself standing. I can defend myself on the ground. Right. And I've got wrestling. I'm like, every woman needs to know this information. So then that's when I started Team Bully Buster.
Nice. So tell us about so you started the concept of it and then you opened the gym?
Yeah. Okay. So originally I started the concept of Team Bully Buster because I wanted to be a liaison between schools and children who were getting bullied, so that they knew they had someone to reach out to and that someone could help them with confidence, courage, being brave, and knowing how to protect themselves. And then fast forward to last year, I opened up my first headquarters. So now I have a gym in Studio City where
that was just last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so for you guys who don't know, so I live in the Valley. I've passed the gym, but I swear that gym's been around for like 3 or 4 years.
No. November 1st, 2017.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. And so then literally, I mean, the ball's just been going since. I teach women and children how to fight. I teach them jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, and wrestling. And these women are empowered and these kids are empowered now.
Now, do you go into the school system as well?
So I also teach at several schools around Los Angeles. We do seminars all the time. I have clients like Keller Williams is one of our big clients, the Girl Scouts of
Keller
America.
Williams, like real estate?
Yeah,
Keller?
because think about how many women are showing a home up in the hills and get raped or attacked because they're showing it to some guy. Right. And no one can hear them, and they don't know what to do. So real estate agents need to know how to protect themselves. Okay, all right. And so, and I just took it and ran with it. That baton is still going. Yeah.
It's important because I'm thinking of like when I went to school, we had this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he had a Jerry curl when Jerry curl wasn't even like a thing. Glow. Yeah. But he was like the only one who had lessons and can fight. Like he had, was like, I think at that time he was like a black belt in karate or something like that. Yeah. And I think it's so important for kids to know how to defend themselves because then it almost builds another side of them.
100%.
So it's, it's great that you go to school.
What to do when those girls came up to me, it would have been a whole different story. If I was who I am today, back then, it wouldn't have went down that way. But the way it went down, they broke my jaw, my shoulder blade, 4 of my ribs, my pancreas, and my liver were pretty much obliterated on school campus.
And that was because you were biracial?
Yeah. My dad's black, my mom's from Guatemala.
Which is crazy because today stuff happens like that too, unfortunately.
Nothing's changed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed much.
Hate black on black crime, but we're working on it.
Eventually, we'll get to it. So now with WOW, the new season. So they made a big announcement.
Yeah.
So what would you like for your character to do this time around?
I would love to be able to showcase my martial arts skills. B, I would love to be a top contender, so I want to work my way up to the belt. That's definitely a goal. And I want to be an incredible wrestler, so I'm just at training giving 1,000,000%.
And have you guys started training yet?
Yeah.
How often are you guys training?
5 days a week.
5 days a week. Is that
yeah.
that's the training center in Long Beach?
In Long Beach, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Thanks for coming down.
You're welcome.
What's the training process? So you do 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. What's the training process like? So what do you
good 30 minutes is warm up, and then we do drills, and we do wrestling drills, lots of rolls, lots of hitting the ropes, working the ropes, and then we get into flow and chain wrestling, and then we get into the bigger stuff, top ropes, jumping off, and then cut to 4 hours later.
And is Tessa there training?
Oh yeah, she's there. Selena Majors, yeah.
That's amazing. Now, have you added any? I don't know if you can say this.
Yeah.
Have you added any new girls to the mix or any new
names
things?
on the roster?
New names on the roster?
But I don't know that I'm permitted to talk about it, so I will not.
I had to ask. Wow,
but yeah, there's some new exciting names that that have wrestled with other companies, and so we're excited to have them on the WOW roster, and then make them go the WOW way.
And now, obviously, you've been with WOW for 8 years, and you do acting, and you do so many other things. Has there ever been a desire in the stuff that you do to do more wrestling, like do more indie wrestling, or even pursue WWE?
You know what? I get asked that all the time.
Especially the fact that you're a fighter, and now we have so many fighters in WWE, too.
I haven't necessarily opened my options up to it, just because I do have a very stacked schedule. And WOW is my heart, you know what I mean? So we'll keep it there. That's where I'm at now.
And then Nike commercial that you did.
Thank you, yeah.
Congratulations
You know who
on that.
directed that?
Who directed it?
Alejandro Idimitu, the guy who directed The Revenant. Like, I literally worked with the Oscar award-winning director.
So did you find that out when you got there? Or?
Yes. And I was like, my jaw hit the ground. And like, I don't know if you heard stories about how he shoots, but he really does shoot with one take. Like, there's not like, say your line cut, change the camera, say your line cut. No, it's going around. Like, his director of photography is consistently moving. It's one shot. So what you saw in the commercial was literally ongoing.
So when you're doing the one shot, do you just keep repeating it, or how does that?
No, you just keep you're in that moment until they just But that commercial came out bomb. It was for the Olympics, so it got so much run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing you should, because I was just at a Nike event. God, this time is going by so quickly. Either a Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, it was a women empowering event, and that should be something that, like, there's a tie-in, because they had this thing about female empowerment, and Angela Davis, who is a Soul Cycle. Yeah, she also used to run track.
Yeah.
She was there, so I was like, that should be.
I saw that. I would love to do something with them where, like, okay, now all the women that you guys have, now let's teach them how to protect themselves.
Yeah,
because that's very important.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
mean, Nike's been doing so many different things, especially with Colin Kaepernick. We can go on and on about that stuff. Now, because you also competed in 2017, you had a match, Muay Thai.
Yes.
How many matches have you had?
So I fought twice for Muay Thai. I won one and I lost one. The one that I won was incredible. The one that I lost was an awesome fight. I lost the first round for sure, and then I took an 8 count because I was so overwhelmed. In my brain, I thought we were going to be doing Muay Thai.
Right.
And that's what I was prepared for, not a street fight. Like, we just going at it. So when that was happening, I was like, oh, wait. I'm looking at my corner like, is this okay? Is this right?
So she wasn't a technician.
No.
She was just...
So then once the second round was up, or first round was up and I went into the corner, I said to my coach, like, what do I do? And he was like, you fight. And I was like, all right, well, now we just got to fight. So I didn't make up the deficit, but I did amazing those 2 rounds. So I get the L, but it was still such a win for me.
Yeah, I think because you said you did the 400 with sports where it's just so technical, like you have your gifted ability, which is able to run fast or do something, and then you add the technique on top of it. Than anything else where it's just like, oh, we're not doing this.
Yeah, exactly. So that was me. I was like, oh, what are you doing? That's not... what?
But it's something that you didn't necessarily need technique for, or you just kind of went at it? You saved somebody from a car accident?
Yes. So I really am a superhero. I was at a light, and I saw a woman crossing the street, and then I saw a car out of nowhere hit her 100%, like never hit the brakes. And then everyone just started screaming and panicking in the area. I dashed across. I ran over to her. I had ice packs in my car because I had just left the chiropractor. So I got those, and I put them on her, and I just kept her cool because it was like, remember 2 summers ago, it was really hot?
Yeah, triple digits like
the whole... It was triple digits, and she had shorts on. She was like going for her walk, like her afternoon walk or whatever, and it was so hot. So for me, I was just like, let me keep this lady cool. I don't know if she's alive. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm going to stay with her. I talked to her. I prayed with her. I called 911. I literally was shielding her from the sun, icing her with one hand. I had my phone in my lap, calling 911, and they're like walking me through, checking her vitals, blah, blah, like literally for 15 minutes. And then when they came, they lifted up her eyelid and called some code, like it was a bad, like, uh-oh, this is bad.
Right.
And then they took her. And I was
probably
like,
dehydrated too.
I was like, what happened to the lady? And I was shook, and I went home, and I stared at my wall for 4 hours. I couldn't, like, I was messed up. And so then I just started Googling, like, Studio City accident, like, Valley Village, the intersection. Nothing was coming up. When her cards went flying and her phone and everything, I was the person who collected everything.
Right.
So I had remembered her name before I gave it to the ambulance, to the EMT, and then I started doing a search, but her name is common, so many came up, and I was just going through images. I didn't even know what the lady looked like. Like, I never saw her face.
Right.
But I did see her eye when they opened it, and it was like a teal eyeball. It was the most beautiful blue.
Okay.
That's all I remembered. And so then later on that evening, I couldn't let it go. My heart didn't let it go. My spirit didn't let it go. So I went to the police station, the fire station by my house, just to see if they were the ones that responded, and they were, but they were like, because of HIPAA, we can't release her personal information, but we can tell you she's not from here. And I was like, oh, brought in my search. So, because I had just put Studio City, I thought she like lived here if you're walking here, you know?
Right.
So then I just put her name. Now I'm going through thousands of images, but I found her eyeballs. I did. I clicked on it, and it took me to her Facebook page. It took me to her son's Facebook page. I messaged him, and I was like, hey, this might be really weird, but was your mom hit by a car today? And he said, she's in brain surgery right now, yes. And so I stayed connected to the family, and that's literally like my second mom now, and I train her. She lived.
Oh, my gosh.
She had 2 major brain surgeries, gnarly scars, but she's alive. And,
wow.
She had to do rehab and learn how to talk and walk and do the whole shebang, but she's good, and she's here, and I saved her because if I didn't ice her, if I wasn't there, her brain would have swelled to the point of no return, but because
the cooling
kept her cool, and I shaded her, so amen.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. Cedar Sinai did a whole story on us. It was awesome.
Yeah, you need to, like, put that somewhere else because, like, the stuff that I saw, I was like, oh, and by the way, she saved somebody from a car accident.
No, like, legit.
Yeah, but that's like, you did.
Yeah.
But it's so
Next
much
level,
more.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
it's pretty cool. It's cool that I get to see her every Tuesday and Thursday because I train her now. She's one of my clients, and I teach her how to fight, and I had to teach her how to walk and move around. It was pretty gnarly.
So what got you into, so we know what got you into almost the self-defense stuff, but what made you want to open a gym and then also kind of train people on top of that? Because there's so many different avenues with self-defense and fitness and stuff like that. So what made you want to do that?
I would say that from the day that I got bullied all the way up until the day I stepped into jiu-jitsu, I definitely had a smidge of PTSD, but it was physical. So like if I was at Trader Joe's and someone was behind me too close, my heart would start beating fast. I could feel my pulse raising, my hands getting sweaty because someone's too close to me.
Right.
So I was really tired of that feeling. that feeling went away once I started doing jiu-jitsu and WOW and Muay Thai. And I was like, this feeling that I now have walking down the street, whether it's dark, whether it's light, whether someone's right up on me, and I'm fine because I know exactly what to do if you cross my boundary.
Right.
And I want every woman to feel that way because I know what it's like to be a woman who doesn't feel that way. Even throughout my life, even after the bullying situation, when I was in real estate, one of the bosses sexually harassed me, and I froze. It's a thing. It's either fight or flight, right?
Right.
And so, but it's more natural to freeze, and that was still happening. So once that no longer happened, is when I started to learn martial arts, and so I was like, I have to. This is my life. I have to pass this information forward. Like, I know everything in the world happens for a reason,
right.
and I love God. I love Jesus. Like, that's my Lord and Savior, and I truly believe that I went through all of that so that I could start Team Bully Buster and start empowering children and pass the message forward that we all have the ability to protect ourselves.
So what is that's like my next question. So beyond the, teaching the moves, kind of are there like 3 states that you teach somebody before you even teach them how to physically protect themselves?
Not necessarily. We get right into it. I think one of the most important things we start with is how to fall, how to get up with creating space between you and a person. But other than that, we get right into it.
So it's just like reflexes.
Absolutely.
So if somebody does touch you, you don't even have to think.
Right. You want it to be second nature. Just like when you get in the car and you put your seatbelt on, you should know what to do if someone grabs you. Why? Because it's 2019 and things are happening. Turn on the news,
Now, with kids, though, is there a way you teach children so you'll feel empowered, but then they get to a point of being too empowered? You know what I'm saying? Is that
not necessarily? We have such an awesome curriculum where it's all very encouraging and team based. So the first name of my the first is team, right? So it takes a village, right? And we have that village, and we make it happen. So the kids are learning to be kind, caring for each other, courageous and brave, and we completely have them out of their comfort zone, which they love because that's where they're learning, and it's the challenge, and it's hard, and it's fun. So I feel like I've found my niche. I definitely created my own lane. I didn't find it. I made it. And
especially before, because now we have like all these women coming out and telling their story. And the stories have happened throughout the years, not recent. So especially with now that women can tell their stories, now there's an avenue for the women who either it's happened to or it hasn't happened to, that there's a safe space.
And I'm trying to make no more Me Too. Let's not have Me Too. You know what I mean? Let's say no.
Yeah.
Let's know what to do when someone violates us. Let's know what to do when someone crosses our boundary. And for whatever reason, women in society, we're not taught these things. We're not taught what to do when we're faced with a mean girl or a mean guy or meanness or violence. We're not. We're taught to say please and thank you and be polite and quiet and mind your own business and,
keep moving.
That's not real. Yeah. At the end of the day, no one's saving us.
Especially because I'm thinking of a gym or a boxing gym that I went to, and it's mainly men. And, I handled myself pretty well. Yeah. But the things that I just kind of let just float off, like as far as comments and stuff like that, because I'm just so used to hearing it. But somebody who's, not to say that's okay, not to say that's okay, but somebody who's not used to hearing that automatically turned them off. So it's really great to have like a safe space.
And that is why I literally call it the empowerment place, because even for myself, before I had my own gym, I go to a jiu-jitsu gym, I drive to a Muay Thai gym, I go to another gym for strength and conditioning, and they're all men-based. Yeah. A, it stinks. B, they're smelly. I don't want to get hollered at, especially if I have a boyfriend. I don't want to get hollered at and gawked at. Like, I want to just do the thing and
work.
Do my thing. Like, leave me alone. So I created a place where it is that. It smells good. It feels good. It's beautiful. It's clean. And no one's hollering at you. You're in there with people who want the same information as you. So it's a beautiful team.
So now tell us about your acting career. So you were on did you get to try out for Heroes? That was the question.
No, so I never made that audition.
So you were on the HBO show Room 104.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
What other projects and then also obviously the Nike commercial.
Yeah.
What other projects have you worked on, and what other projects do you want to work on?
I just finished a film called Before the Thunder, which I play the lead, and I play an MMA fighter who's on a losing streak, that's potentially suffering from CTE, which is brain trauma, and it's something that not enough conversations are being had about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool because it's a fight movie, but it's about after the fight.
Yeah.
Life behind all that, right? And what it's like when you go home and your head hurts and you're seeing things and just life ain't right and things aren't clicking. So I was very honored to play the lead in this and get this part. It was a long audition process, but I made it, and it was awesome. So we shot in Big Bear for 3 months.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I'm very excited about that. Right now, it's making its way in the indie circuit and all of the film festivals, and it's doing really good.
Yeah. With that, the CTE too, like we see it all the time.
Yeah.
We see athletes who've
losing it.
Yeah. There's just something that's not quite right. But because we've been seeing them not quite right for the last 15 or 20 years.
We just think they're not right.
Yeah.
But something's wrong.
Right.
Yes.
But because they've been playing this or been doing that, and you're like, oh, well, this is just how they are. But,
So the adding up of concussions really has a huge residual effect. And, I mean, it makes you see things, you hallucinate, you feel like you're being watched. Like, it's a very crazy thing. And I'm very proud and excited to be part of something that's shedding awareness on it.
Right. And then there has, not necessarily with WOW, but with other wrestling promotions, there has been cases and also people suing wrestling promotions because of that. How has WOW taken that into consideration as far as training and then also in the ring?
Well, I will say this. One beautiful thing about WOW is we put safety first, and that's drilled into your head from day one. So, you know, more girls on the indie circuit, it's more personal, you know, like they just fly in, they do their thing, they fly to another city to do their thing.
Right.
We're a team. We're all together all the time. So we're not trying to hurt each other. I have to see you tomorrow. And like, you know what I mean? And I might have a match with you. So I don't need you hurt and you don't want to hurt me. So we definitely put making each other look good first before anything else. And I feel like holding that at such a high level keeps us all on the same page.
Oh yeah, that does make sense.
Right?
Opposed to just like all the traveling stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can wave your magic wand, I know you said you gave me some PC answers as far as what you would like to do with your character. But what would be, is there like a storyline that you have in mind that you would love to see?
Ooh, a storyline. Well, I would love to wrestle Jungle Girl.
Okay.
She's an amazing athlete.
Is she? Did they announce is she scheduled to come back?
Yes.
Okay. We don't know.
Yes. I hope so. So I would love to wrestle her. I would love to wrestle Tess. She's an incredible athlete, and I think that could be pretty tremendous.
Yeah.
Other than as far as storylines, not necessarily. I think Fire is pretty dope, and I was really looking forward to maybe working with her in a tag team, but I'm not sure if we're going to go that direction yet.
Right.
But we did run outs for each other, so.
Weren't you part of a tag team before?
Yeah, so I was part of the Bully Busters
with
Stephanie.
Okay.
Steffi Slays.
Okay.
And we might be making a comeback.
Okay.
We might be.
Because Steffi Slates was like was she out of high school or
she's in college.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember you. Wow.
Yeah.
Because you did tell. Okay.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
I'm like connecting. You guys, there's a whole conversation that happened before this show happened, and I'm just like connecting it. It's like okay. So sneakerhead.
Yeah.
Over 500 sneakers.
Yes.
Where do you keep these sneakers?
In my walk-in closet. Lined all the way up from the ground.
In Studio City?
Yes.
Okay. That means a lot. If you don't know what that means that she's doing very well.
It's always been a thing. I don't know why. I think when I was younger, I have an older brother, and he always wore Jordans. And so that's where it started, wanting to be like my brother, right?
Do you stand in line or any of that stuff? Or?
Oh, no. I've never had to do that. They get shipped to me. So yeah, I just wanted to. I'm a tomboy, and I wanted to be like my brother. So I think that's where the sneaker thing came in. But he's not a sneakerhead anymore. I just took it and ran with it.
Okay, so you don't. you get them shipped to you, but you don't get like when they first are announced.
Oh yeah, I get them before anyone else, but I'm not camping out.
How do you get them before everybody?
Connections, baby.
I need some of those connections because I was like, oh, you just get okay.
No.
So what's your favorite pair of sneakers?
The Air Jordan Breads, the black and reds.
Okay, yeah. I like that. Now, tell everybody as far as classes and stuff like that, how they go about finding your studio. What kind of classes
if you guys are interested in coming to the Empowerment Place and getting empowered, we are in Studio City, right on Whitsett and Riverside. We have classes 6 days a week. We teach jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, strength and conditioning. It's a powerhouse gym if you want to be empowered.
Yes.
Yeah, Team Bully Buster, baby.
Perfection right there. So usually what we do, or actually not usually, we always do this when we have somebody, we have a guest, which is we always have a guest. We do rapid hot tags where I'm going to hit you with some questions, and I actually have some new questions too.
Okay.
Thanks to Angela Davis. So shout out to you. So always early or always late?
Always late.
You were early today.
I know. I'm working on it.
Last person you text.
My mama.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
To have a teleporter.
Yes. Weekends or weekdays?
Weekends.
Costume parties or pool parties?
Pool parties.
Cubed ice or crust ice?
No ice.
The ice is kind of gross.
Yeah, I don't like ice.
Yeah,
I don't like when it touches my lips. I don't like when it hits my teeth. I don't like ice.
There's a 2020 thing on ice and what's in ice.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but I just don't like the feeling of it.
Yeah, there's a whole thing.
Okay,
you're good.
No ice.
Late owl or early riser?
Oh, late owl all day.
Pictionary or charades?
Charades.
What is the one thing... Actually, scratch that. If you were able to listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Damn. Atlians, Outcasts.
Oh, that's a good one. Dream dinner guest.
Oprah.
Last show you binge watched.
Game of Thrones. Getting ready.
Yeah, what season are you on?
Oh, I'm done. I just redid it just to get fresh again.
You just redid it? I'm watching it right now, and I watch about 20 minutes of the hour show because it's too much.
Yeah.
But now I'm on season 6.
Okay.
And now it's tamed down. Like, not as many people are dying, so now I can watch the full show.
So no more red weddings and stuff.
Yeah, season 1 and 2 was a little bit much. If you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Purple.
And if you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
Sushi.
Oh, yes. Crave Cafe, have you been to that one?
Yeah, definitely.
Go to Crave Sushi.
Yes.
If you're in the town. That is it for season.
That's awesome.
I mean, you beat people up for a living, so this is obviously nothing. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Instagram, The Pretty Flower, and if you want to check out the gym, it's Team Bully Buster, and I'm also Keta Rush.
And then they announced the dates for WOW already?
Yes,
right?
we shoot WOW at the Belasco in downtown LA, May 15th and 16th. So make sure to get your tickets. They're on sale already.
That's like around the corner.
Yeah.
So our poll question is, who are you more excited to see for AEW? You have Britt Baker, you have Kylie Ray, you have Allie, and you have Penelope Ford. So that's all going to be on our Twitter and Instagram page, which is WPW Weekly, so you can vote there. Other than that, you guys can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Thank you so much.
Thank you, TK. I love this. This is great.
Soon,
thanks,
Evan
guys.
will be somewhere in the vicinity. We'll see. Until next week, guys. Ciao.
From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling. We ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.